Hey everybody, I just wanted to do an update and let you all know how my last Saturday, the IUI, went. Everything went really well, and it was a little bit different this time, and different for the better. So I'm really hoping that that's the difference between us having the negative test and us getting the positive result. So I'm just going to go over a little bit what to expect when you have an IUI, for those of you who don't know or haven't had one. And then I'll tell you a little bit about what was different this time for us and how that was better. So basically, when you get an IUI, you're given a sample cup, a specimen cup, and that you bring with you, obviously. If you live further away from a hospital, they usually give you a bottle of sperm wash with it. We are fortunate enough to live fairly close to a hospital, within like 10 minutes. I don't know exactly what the time, how long away you need to have it versus not. But we live close enough where we don't have to have it. So we went to the hospital, and it was kind of weird going on a Saturday because nobody else was there. We had to wait for her to unlock the door. But we waited. We got there. She unlocked the door. They take the sample back. They look at it under a microscope, part of it, to make sure that everything, looks okay with it and that the motility is high enough and all that good stuff. And they always let us see it under the microscope, which is really rather nice. It's just kind of cool. It's kind of neat. So we looked at it, everything looked fine. We went back in the room. I got undressed and everything. And then she came in with the sample. And it's always, and basically what it is when you get an IUI, it's a catheter tube with like a syringe at the bottom. And the syringe has like a pink, because when they wash it right there in the office. From what I understand, and I don't know that much about all this, I really haven't ever bothered to educate myself on it, but they spin it, and I guess what it does is it separates the sperm from the fluid, and so they mix it with some other kind of fluid that's pink. It's always pink, like a bright pink. But then what happens is they go ahead and put the catheter up through your cervix, and this is where it was a little bit different this time. The last two times I've had it done, she's had a difficult time getting the catheter all the way where it needs to be. Like, my cervix wasn't cooperating or whatever. I don't know what the deal was, but she's always really struggled to get it up there, and it takes, just a few more minutes than usual. But this time, she said as soon as, she was looking that, it was that my cervix was exactly where it needed to be. The catheter went right up, no problem. And then, they just basically inject it slowly, it's not too fast, whatever. She asked my husband if he wanted to do it, and he said no. He did do it last time, and, inject the stuff, but I don't know, for whatever reason, he didn't want to screw it up or whatever, so he just let her do it. And then basically that's it. I mean, it's like I said in one of my previous videos, there's hardly any pain at all. I mean, it feels similar to like a pap smear. You may get a little bit of cramping or whatever. You may spot a little bit afterwards. It's no big deal. So the whole procedure takes literally a few minutes, and it was very quick this time because my cervix was cooperating. It was in and out. So then basically what they have you do is lay there for 15 minutes. Now, usually she's had me flip over onto my stomach, and this time what she did is she elevated my hips with like a thing on their table that, part of the table picks up. So she had me do that, and I laid there for 15 minutes. You get dressed and you're done. So, that's pretty much it. Then, you're in your 2-week wait. Then what happens, and I know not everyone does this, my doctor has always done this. He prescribes me Prometrium, which I take intravaginally twice a day, which in my opinion is the absolute worst part of this entire thing. I would even venture to say that it is not as bad as the shots, or that it's worse than the shots. I mean, I don't mind the injections. You can't even feel the needle. It's kind of inconvenient. You get a little sore, but oh well. The Prometrium, it's just so messy, and I just hate it. And I've heard other people talk about it. It's horrible. I just hate it. But, you do it, and you want to be pregnant, and that's to help you not to miscarry, I guess. So obviously it's really important. So I won't complain too much about it. But you do that basically 5 days after you took the trigger shot. So I took the trigger shot on Thursday. I started those on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm in my 2-week wait. I'm really being pretty successful at not worrying too much about it. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much because, that can be hard if you get them up too high. But at the same time, I'm trying not to be too negative about it. I'm just kind of have the opinion that I had the last time, which is, I'm a strong believer in God, and when it's meant to happen, everything's going to work exactly as it should, and it's going to happen. So if this is our time, then I'm going to be pregnant, and if it's not, then I'm not. And that's pretty much where I'm at. She did say before I left, absolutely do not test before the 2 weeks is up, because the Avidril that you take, which is a trigger shot, can cause a false positive if you take it, or if you do one before, the Avidril wears off and it stays in your system for almost 2 weeks. So I'm not going to test because, I had that happen before where I got the positive, whether it was a false positive or a chemical pregnancy or whatever the case would be. It was horrible. I don't want to do that again. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to be realistic and understand that this is not 100%. And, what happens, happens. I did this past weekend we were out shopping, and I wanted to look at the baby stuff. My husband has no desire to do that. He says that, he doesn't, I don't really think it's a money issue, but I think that it affects him a little bit more than I probably initially thought. And he doesn't want to have this stuff, get excited, and have it not happen. So I had gone out before the IUI, actually. The last time I started the injectables, which was August, I think, I had decided that every cycle I wanted to buy one baby thing. And so I'd gone out by myself, and I wish I had it down here, but I don't, and just bought a little onesie, just a little $3 onesie, and it's really cute. It's got I think an alligator or something on it, or crocodile, whatever, and it says I bite. It's really cute. So that's what I bought. I just want to buy one thing every cycle, and that way it'll have some kind of memory attached to it. But that's pretty much it. So now we wait. So I will test on the 30th. October 30th is a Saturday, and I love the fact that it's a Saturday, because that means that my husband will be home either way, whether it be good or bad. He'll be home all weekend, and we'll be able to deal with everything before he has to go to work on Monday, which is nice because I'd feel really guilty. When you find out you get the negative or whatever, I just kind of want to be alone with him and, to process our feelings and everything, and I'd feel really guilty if he had to miss work. I think that he'd want to, not that he would do it for me, but, I'm glad that he doesn't have to miss work, that it's a weekend, and if it's, if it comes out positive, I would say, screw work, take the day off, and so this way he doesn't have to do that either. We have a whole weekend to process everything and move on. So, that's pretty much where we're at. The other thing that is coming up tonight, actually, is we are going for our foster class, Foster to Adopt, and that starts tonight. We're picking up with class 5, and we have, I think, 6 more classes, because there's 10 total, so that'd be 6, I think. I'm really excited to start those again. The only bad thing about starting those is we're on a huge push for the house again. I don't know why at this point it still surprises me that stuff takes so much time, but it does. We were hoping that the kitchen would so be done by now, but it's not. Everything is pretty much in. I mean, our appliances are hooked up, countertops are in, cupboards and everything. He has to touch up the paint where this is one thing I hate about, the remodeling process. You do this beautiful paint job, and it looks so nice until you start moving furniture back in, or, put counter, and then everything gets nicked, and it has to be touched up. So the paint has to be touched up, and we bought unfinished cabinets, which have to be stained in polyurethane and all that good garbage. So that all has to happen, and I want that to happen fairly soon, because right now we're still kind of living out of boxes in the dining room for our dishes and everything, because I don't want to put the dishes back in until the stain and everything is done, and because you have to sand the polyurethane or whatever. So and we haven't been able to do that because he's been building a shed. We have waited forever, it seems like, since the year we bought this house, which was 6 years ago at this point, to be able to build a shed, to have a place to put like our like my gardening stuff, and his, he has a bike and all that stuff. He wants to be able to put it in the shed, and he's finally building it this year. And I'll do something, like I always say, at some point I'll do a around the house video and show you guys all this stuff. But it's taken way longer than we originally thought. It's a little bit out of a shape. It's a 5-sided shed, and so that made the roof a little bit more difficult and everything, but I think it looks really nice. I think it's going to look really nice when it's done. But it's a matter of finishing that, and this is all, time stuff. It has to be done before winter. And then once all that's done, we're finally going to start on the bedrooms upstairs, and I'm so excited about doing those. I think we have definitely decided that the one on the second floor, we are going to definitely make a nursery. We're not going to put regular furniture back in there. Even if I'm not pregnant, I think we'll probably go ahead and buy a crib and, dresser and stuff like that. And then the 2 bedrooms on the 3rd floor, we are going to go ahead and make those, for children's, toddlers or whatever. We're going to put just regular twin beds and, dressers, nightstands, things like that. So exciting. We have a lot of stuff coming up. I will start doing the review of the adoption classes again, because I know people, have a real interest in that. So I hope everybody else is doing really well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.